Well, hello, my silky friends. How are you doing? I First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I gotta take this out of my ear. Um, I'm gonna apologize for the lack of proper clothing, but it's hot. It's Alabama, and it's the hottest day of the year so far. Today is the hottest day, and I don't even know what the temperature is because I didn't go outside. I didn't even go to church. I laid around like a porch dog. I really did. And yesterday it was 97, and that was the actual temperature. The heat index is over 100, so it's hot. And as long as it's hot, this is the way I'm going to show up. So y'all just get comfortable. Let's just all be comfortable, okay? Oh, hello. Yo. Daniel Berry. Hello, Pam Frenchman. Yes, happy Father's Day. Oh, I forgot to post that. Oh my gosh, Pam. I forgot to make a community post for Happy Father's Day. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but all you guys, all you dads, and all you moms who have to be dads. I feel ya. I feel ya. I had to be that a lot. Especially when my sons were growing up, so I guess they turned out okay. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, so there are some crazy things going on in Robeson County. And the more I looked into it, pretty much the sicker I got. Hello, Buckeye. Oh, yeah, Houston. You would be shocked at how little I'm wearing. But at least you don't have to be on camera. I guess I could use the icon, but I'm not going to. Like, y'all just gonna have to live with it because I've got so many windows in this room that the only way to keep it cool at all would be to sit in the dark all day, and I'm just not gonna do it. So I live with the heat. Hello, Hiawatha. You're laying around like a porch dog for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Hey, it's all right. Porch dogs. We okay. It's the only way to survive summer in the South. And the way the weather's going, it's been really hot in some other places too. It's crazy. Yeah. So I posted a video yesterday about Rex Hewerman. I think that was yesterday. I don't know. And then one today about church, the stuff with Robert Morris. I woke up early this morning, like at 5:30, and saw that. And I thought I wanted to report on, church stuff, and I found out I really don't. It breaks my heart, and it makes me angry and a little nauseated. So I think I'm just going to stay in my lane in true crime, and just report when I have to. Just to let y'all know, also, one last thing before we get started. Some of you all have sent me information on cases that you really want me to cover. And it's not that I don't want to cover them. It's just I've got about 4 or 5 cases right now that I really want to talk about. And finding the time, and the thing is I want to choose cases that need some advocacy, as well as covering other cases that some people just like to come and they like to learn about something. Again, with the fuzz, they like to learn about something, a case, and then when hear the whole story, they want to have a resolution. And most of my stuff doesn't have a resolution because you and me, the keyboard warriors, we are the resolution. And that is really, really important to me. But anyway, know that I am. Someone has asked me, I don't know if it's the same person or if it's been several people. I couldn't tell you. But the Noah Pressgrove case, I am interested in that one. And there's so many others. Like, there's just a whole chain. I just don't have enough time to get to all of them. So, just hang with me. Hopefully, we'll get there. All right, so, Robeson County. We started off Man, I look back at some of the stuff. The If you noticed in the last probably month, I've been doing like a slideshow, and it's not just to help you; it's to help me because I save all that stuff, and that way I don't have to clutter up my phone or just a ton of photos on my computer, and I don't even know what, especially when they're screenshots of text messages or something like that. So, I've been going through and, okay, what did I talk about a few weeks ago that I said I was going to follow up on? Corruption was one of them. Now, if you'll remember, I don't even know how many weeks ago it was now, we talked about Operation Tarnished Badge, and that was what a dumpster fire that was, right? That's where like 22 officers in Robeson County got fired. It was a very big investigation. So, I'm thinking, my mind on the hamster wheel, it's where it stays. I was thinking about, some of the updates on Mica Miller is, and I'm sure you've probably heard this, but if you haven't, Mica Miller's family, they really want to change her name posthumously back to Frances. And look, I think she would want that. I know if I were in that situation, I would want my name back. I have always taken my name back, okay? So, yeah, I feel like it's important. And, they also are going to court for things like the house, that her part or her money from the house that she and JP shared. It said that she had taken on like $90,000 for home improvements. Now, JP moved the assets back into the church, the little worm that he is, when they were going through the divorce. Let's hide the assets, right? Because I don't want to give you anything. So anyway, they're fighting for that. They are also trying to fight for, more investigation, everything that we're doing. Now, we're going to talk about, just to let you know, we are going to be talking about, I'm not going to cover Operation Tarnished Badge because I've already done that, but I'm going to talk about more recent corruption in Robeson County because remember, it's about the culture. We're going to look at a few things, and then we're going to look at the medical examiner because this is sketch. And I did know this. I don't know that I ever said anything about it, but I spent a long time, about a month ago, trying to find information on him. And let me tell you something. Nobody can find it. So I'm going to be asking everybody, if you are in that area, hey, please, if you know anything, let me know. Shoot me an email, comment or something, because I know that there has got to be relationships between some of these people. Okay, Random Christian Musings said she'd be right back. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You're probably not going to hear this unless you watch the replay. You gotta get your 38-year-old son to connect your headphones to your head. I get it. There's a lot of times I have to get my kids to do something for me. But anyway, good to have you, Random. All right. Oh yeah, Pam, you went on a road trip. I hope it was great. Hope you had a good time. Was it Oklahoma? Did you say you were going? I can't remember now. All right. So let's take a look at, let's see, where are we going to start? Let's take a look at this gem. Let's see if y'all can see that. Nope, not yet. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Okay, well, let me make this big. Alright, I'm not going to see you for just a second. All right, two Robeson County commissioners accused in primary election bribery case. Y'all, this is such it's ridiculousness at its best. I'm going to tell you. And this article is dated on April 20th, 2024. Here are the people that are representing you. Looky there. This would be Wixie. That's kind of a cute name, though. Wixie Stevens on the left and Judy Sampson. Both are Democrats who serve on the Robeson County Board of Commissioners. Well, let's see. So they're accused of bribing at least 21 voters in the March primary, according to a court petition filed Thursday. Mina, hush. She never does this till I get online. Literally, she doesn't do this till I go live. Okay, Commissioner Wixie Stevens allegedly paid at least 9 residents up to $60 to vote for incumbent Judy Sampson in the March 5th Democratic primary for the commissioner's seat, District 5 seat, according to a legal petition filed on Thursday. Now, let me tell you something. Hold on just a second. Let me mute this for a second while I tell my dog to shut up. I don't think she's intimidated at all. All right, so let me just tell you something. $60 is not a lot of money. You'd have to pay me a lot more for a vote. Not that you could pay me for a vote, but you know what I'm saying. In a signed affidavit, one voter said Stevens, who owns a bail bond company in Lumberton. Bail bonds. So you have something to do with maybe law enforcement and the jail. I'm going to tell you, I work in a jail. I know the officers and the bail bondsmen know each other very, very well because they do work together on everything, especially trying to get someone out. So that was my first, Okay, so y'all know each other. Okay, so, Stevens owns a bail bond company in Lumberton, gave her cash, bought her a seafood dinner, and promised to bail her out if she ever returned to jail. Well, I mean, if you're a criminal, that's a pretty good deal, right? You get a seafood dinner, you get some cash, and a promise. Another voter said Stevens waived a $200 bond payment in exchange for casting a vote for Sampson. Wow, that's a good deal. The petition also says Sampson wrote a check for $160 to be split among another 11 voters. Now, I want to tell you something. I'm just saying, $160 between 11 people, that's less than $16. That's about $15 a piece? That's all you're paying for votes? I mean, jeez. The other people got a really good deal. Hello, Christian Musings. I said something to you while you were gone. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yeah. So look, I'm just saying, I don't think they knew that somebody else got a seafood dinner and cash and a promise to bail her out of jail, or him or her. So I think some people got gypped on that one. Hello, Flat Earth. Good to see ya. Yeah, so, I mean, now look, this is a county commissioner job, and I don't imagine that it pays a whole lot. I could be wrong, but I guess it has its perks. Again, that owning a bail bondsman company, that tells me a lot right there. All right, so Lacey Cummins filed the petition who challenged Sampson in the election. Results showed that Cummins lost by 5 votes, 875 to 870, which was confirmed in a recent recount on March 27th. This set up Sampson to face Republican Lynn Locklear in November. So, you know what? They filed this they filed this suit, and she's still on the ticket. Y'all just don't even care, do you? All right, so the Robeson County Elections Board denied a protest by Cummings on March 27th. The State Board of Elections denied an appeal on April 10th, saying Cummings lacked evidence in his claim of voter irregularities. Well, oh, wait a second. I just lost my. Hold on. I don't know what happened there. Let's go back to the article we were reading. All right. Can y'all see that? Yes. At least I got my mouse working so I can click on your comments tonight instead of the dumpster fire it was last time. All right, so, let me go on through here. It's just funny. Some of it is just funny. That seafood dinner, it just slayed me. All right, so we're going, blah, 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 back and forth. Now, Wixie Stevens, remember she was the lady on the left. When reached by phone on Friday, Stevens said she did not pay voters or assist with their bail payments. She was working on Sampson's re-election campaign this spring and ran uncontested in her own Democratic primary. Why not? Well, what do you think she's going to say? Yeah, I did it? No, of course not. Stevens said Cummings asked her to support his attempts to win a seat on the commissioner's board, but she declined. Okay. Now, Cummings, this was interesting, ran unsuccessfully 5 times since 2010. Lazy Cummings is a habitual, unequivocal liar, Stevens said. He ran 5 times, lost 5 times, and just can't take it. Now he wants to blame the whole county. Judy Sampson, who has served on the commission since 2020, did not immediately respond to phone calls or emails on Friday afternoon. But now here are some voters who said that they were paid. 6, then they signed affidavits. 6 said they were paid by Stevens in cash or via Cash App. One of them said he was paid $60 to vote for Sampson and $80 to give to 4 other voters. Again, that's $20 between 4 other people. So he gets paid $60. These others, look, you can't even get a good meal. You can't get a seafood dinner for $20. Well, maybe you can around here, but in most places, probably not. But I guess some people are easy to buy. All right. In one affidavit, a man said he declined Stevens' offer of $15 to vote for Sampson, but his twin brother accepted money, according to the man, who said he witnessed Stevens pay several other voters. Look at this, gets even better, y'all. Miss Stevens then asked if I would use my twin brother's ID to vote for Miss Judy Sampson. The affidavit says. Again, I refused. So Cummings declined to comment and, referring questions to his lawyer, Michael Porter of Fayetteville. Oh my gosh. Although the amounts of money used to pay for these votes are small, this is still a case of rank and outrageous election fraud, said Porter, who took on the case Wednesday. Buying votes is a threat to our democracy, and we must ensure this never happens again. Oh, but let's look at some past history, okay? Robeson County has a history of fraud elections. Lumberton, the Robeson County seat, was the subject of a vote-buying investigation in 2015 when a city council candidate accused her opponent of paying 3 voters to cast ballots in exchange for $7 each. Y'all desperate up there. I mean, my goodness. It's $7, like minimum wage, like 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, this is crazy. This is just sheer craziness. And but that's recent. That's going on now. That was just filed and the election's still to come. So we're going to see what happens. Wow. Let's see. What are y'all saying? Yes. Yes, I talked about that flat earth just a second ago. Oh, how come I can't? All right, there we go. Yeah, 22 officers lost their jobs. It was a huge FBI investigation. Yes, 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 it was. And I did Flat Earth. I think it was about I don't know, roughly 3 weeks to a month ago, somewhere around there. I covered that in some live. I don't even know which one it was. But yeah, Hiawatha, they're still corrupt. So see, that's what I wanted to show. That's the whole point. Because as we dig in here, we're gonna see a bunch of what? So yeah, that was the first thing. Now I came across this, and I have not. I'll be honest with you, I have not. Let's see. Let me stop sharing that. I have not listened to this podcast, but it was interesting enough just to read the what it's about. I got a good history. So let's look at that. Okay. Now this podcast, and I am going to listen to it at some point here. It is called Follow the Truth Podcast, and it looks like, let me go back up here. It looks like it's on several different platforms. You can probably catch them on Facebook too. Anyway, it's talking about a certain case. Now, I wasn't really listening for the case, but when I saw this, it's the history of racism and corruption in Robeson County. So let's see what's up with this. And it is going to talk a little bit about Operation Tarnished Badge. Okay, so they are questioning the history of racism and corruption in the county, impacted how it impacted the case against Daniel Andre Green and Larry Demery. I am not 100% sure I'm saying that right, so sorry. Okay, now I'm guessing that this is Rob, Raab. So he was actually a reporter, I think, from New York that came, and let me go back up to the top so this makes sense. Okay, he was a magazine reporter for GQ, and I'm thinking this is him on the left. I'm not sure, because this does have to do with racism. So let's start. Okay. Sorry. All right. So Rob, this is the reporter, started at the top, interviewing powerful four-term Sheriff Hubert Stone, who was not ashamed or embarrassed to call it like he saw it. In his view, and in the view of many people in Robeson County, North Carolina at the time, if you saw an African American man and a Native American man together, they were up to no good. In that framework, Daniel Green and Larry Demery probably never stood a chance when it came to public perception of what they were accused of. All right. And this is a little map of where Robeson County is. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this case, although it does sound very, very interesting. But, you had two minority races. And so it says, and this was in the unaliving of James Jordan. And it had followed a long history of unrest in Robeson County. The takeover of a local newspaper by Native American activists demanding change, and the, I don't know if I can say that word, the unaliving of a popular Lumbee, and this is the tribe, the Native American tribe is Lumbee, of a Lumbee lawyer running for judge were two major events that set the tone for the mounting tension in that area. Later, after the crime, the claims of activists were finally vindicated when 22 officers in the Robeson County Sheriff's Office were charged with various crimes involving corruption in a sweeping investigation dubbed Operation Tarnished Badge. If y'all want to dig into that, I will. But yeah, that's basically That's basically what that was about, an unaliving, racial tensions. And when the FBI investigated, yes, they found it was a hot mess of corruption. All right. Really, a while back, years ago, some people wouldn't even drive through there. Wow. Wow. And that place is famously corrupt from way back. It does not surprise me, which is why I remain unsurprised by a lot of the stuff that I started looking at today. What? Lots of people are still missing. Wow. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that. Um, yeah, when I say I covered Operation Tarnish Badge, I mean it was an article. I didn't go deep into the story, but maybe I should. Especially because it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was kinda, but it wasn't that long ago. And you can see by the things that I keep pulling up about these commissioners and the city councilmen, they're all bribing. Like, look, we got the district, county commissioners, they're bribing people, lying about it. Now there's a lawsuit. And then we've got, the city council, they're bribing people for votes. And you can see where corruption just, it seems to have maybe shifted. I'm not saying that the police on the force right now or the deputies are corrupt because I don't know. But what I'm saying is you have a history of a corrupt county, and it seems like, to me, there's still some shady business going on there. Flat Earth, I might go ahead and do that one. I could tell it was a very detailed story. And actually, I hadn't heard it before. But again, it may have very much play a part in the Mica Miller case, just like when I was covering Rex Hewerman, the Long Island SK, and I came across James Burke, the police chief, and then the district attorney, and the corruption, which really kept Rex out there unaliving people for a good 10 years while they were pulling their shenanigans. And, oh, well, there's some more stuff about, there's some stuff I still want to look into with Rex. But, yeah, basically, in the end, James Burke and the attorney both they were convicted and found guilty. Didn't serve really for their crimes. It was a slap on the wrist. And in my opinion, it was a slap in the face to the residents there and the people. But it is what it is. But I believe that just like that had a major impact on the List case, even though it wasn't direct so far as we know yet, and I'm not convinced that it's not, this may, it may play into Mica Miller. Yes, I do know that Tom Winslow has property right next to where she was found. And, also, there's a lot of speculation, and I touched on this a couple of weeks ago, and I never did get on Google Earth, but there's a lot of speculation that she went by water and that there is across from the police station in Fairbluff, there is a church. Now, I don't know the name of the church. I have to get on Google Earth to find it. There is a boat launch there. So, speculation is that she possibly came by water, and that would explain why she didn't really know during the 911 call. Remember, she was like, when they asked where she was, she's like, Fairbluff? Well, she wasn't in Fairbluff anymore, but if she did go with someone there and maybe somebody else drove her car in, we don't know because there's no cameras, right? See, all this is too convenient. It's too convenient that she was in a place that there were no cameras to see her if she drove her car in, who else came in or out. Although I doubt that they would have come in she would have come in the main way, I assume. But, there's nothing to validate anything, which is why I kind of think it makes that place look sketch, Not the place in itself, but if someone else were involved, it certainly would be a good choice. You see what I'm saying? If you were going to do something and you were familiar with the area, you would already know that. Nobody's going to see me come in. Nobody's going to see her come in. If someone else is driving Mica's car because she's in a boat, nobody's going to see that, right? Hello, Samantha. Oh, you're not late. It's all right. Yes, you're right. Big money gets things done. Absolutely. All right, so I'm looking at this stuff. Yes, we can see 100% that the corruption is still going on. Okay, now this is Robeson County. We haven't got to Myrtle Beach. That's going to be, looking through that kind of stuff is going to be it's going to be sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. It's going to be a whole nother thing. So I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do first. Let me do this one. Okay. All right, so then I started thinking about, I have heard that Flat Earth, that Myrtle is corrupt, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. At all. Like, look. Yeah, I have heard that, Buckeye, that it's a ghost town. JLR went through it. It was destroyed by, I've heard that. Somebody said that it was destroyed by hurricanes. But yeah. So I started thinking about, going back to the first day. All right, day one. Let's look at what happened. Well, we have the 911 call. We have the unaliving. We have the look there. I have so many issues with so many statements, and I'm sorry. I don't want to. I don't want to accuse. All right, I don't want to accuse anybody except JP. But I'm accusing him of being a narcissist. But I don't want to accuse anybody, but at the same time, I'm not an idiot, okay? I have major issues with the statements of the guy, the boat guy, the kayak guy or whatever, the one that took her purse, her stuff. I have major issues with that. Now, I'm not saying that he had anything to do with the crime, but I'm not saying I haven't thought about it, because I absolutely have. A lot of stuff with that is sketch, and I've thought that from day one. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. But you don't want to accuse. You don't want to start an internet frenzy in case there is a reasonable explanation. You don't want, some innocent person being attacked. But the more you look into this, the weirder it gets. And the more I think, that is not, 2 and 2 are not equaling 4 for me in this, okay? They're just not. Let's see. They deleted the drone footage. The drone footage of what? Who deleted it, and which drone footage was that? Was that a video of like how you go into the park or what? So anyway, I started thinking about that day, and I'm trying to think like law enforcement, okay? Now, you see a body, and the way that the sheriff did. Oh yeah, okay. The sheriff deleted the drone footage of where she was found. Okay. Well, there's a shocker, right? That's the thing. When you start looking at these people and you look at how long they've been in office, their law enforcement careers, you're like, they were there. They were definitely somewhere in law enforcement when Operation Tarnished Badge, when that whole thing was going down, when all these people got fired. So even if they weren't directly involved in that, you're in a culture of corruption, and that's the problem. When you may start out in law enforcement with, or any career, let's just say any career. I want to pick on cops, but you can start with anything and really have all the good intentions in the world, but it's a slow decline. All right, it's a slow slippage. One of my favorite songs is by a group called Casting Crowns, and there's a song that they do called Slow Fade, and it's 100% exactly how we slide the little tiny things. The thing that you allow tomorrow, you're gonna pile on top of that. It's not like, okay, well, I just allowed this one thing. Okay, I know this wasn't exactly right, but it's not that bad, so I'm going to allow this little thing, and then that becomes a part of who you are. So then it's easy to say, oh, well, I can allow that. And then before you know it, you're sliding down that hill into, becoming toxic and, going so far away from who you meant to be. It's very important that, we are vigilant with ourselves. But a lot of people, I think they start out good and they, these little things, and then you add to that a culture of corruption where your coworkers, your bosses, you see them doing all this stuff and they've been doing it and they keep doing it and nobody's getting in trouble for it. There you go. Before you know it, you're just like them. And so, Flat Earth, I would love to know what your detailed theory is. And I mean, if you don't want to put it out here, you can email me. I would love to hear what you think. Because I've gone through different theories. All right. But anyway, yeah. So I can see where people could go a little bit sideways. So now you take a sheriff or somebody who's been in power all these years. They have been in this culture, and we see that culture of corruption is still continuing. Even this month, no news. So there you go. Now, I started thinking about if you're a police officer and you come to the scene. Now, I know they had a 911 call. They knew what they were looking for, but you see things that are odd. And unless it's your first day on the job, in which case you shouldn't be making these decisions, you have to see some weird things. Like she's got a log. She's wedged there. The water's not moving. There's a log, wedging her in. There's casings far away from the body. Purse isn't right there next to her because, every woman's going to keep her purse closed. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. These things would definitely make you think, well, I know there's a note here, but it's still a little sus. So this is what I looked at. I started looking up, like, kind of the rules. What is the general things? All right. So this actually is, and this does apply to South Carolina because I looked it up from there. But it is the American Foundation for Self-Harm, let's just put it that way, prevention. So now I loved this part. Do the police have to get involved? And this is what really caught me. Because self-unaliving is considered an unnatural death, the authorities are required to investigate. It is not against the law, but given that there are cases where a homicide has been made to look like a self-unaliving, the authorities will want to make certain that a crime, let me just put it that way, has not been staged to cover up foul play. All right. So even that, and I started looking at the South Carolina legal codes, and I'll just tell you what it said. It said that they don't have to. I mean, that says they're required, but they're not required. It is the medical examiner's decision, and sometimes the coroner, and that can also be they said there's actually sometimes they're deputy coroners. Like, if there is not a coroner, the coroner's not there, the deputies can, kind of make this decision or go in a certain direction. So either you're really bad at your job, okay? I know what it looks like, but yet, if you know anything about this type of event, and you certainly should, you know that it is very often staged. You see, women don't sit in the water and do that. And they don't usually do it by that method. Women do not unalive themselves in that way most of the time. I'm not going to say never, but most of the time that is not a female way to do it. And you are certainly not going to do it where you're in the mud and muck and snaky. What the heck? That's not the way women do this. And especially a girly person is not going to do this. Not that way. Then you got some sus stuff. You got you've got a casing in the tree. You've got casings far away. Like, it ain't mathin'. And as a law enforcement officer, you should know that, right? So why did you just say, okay, there's a note and, here's a body. Okay, it's cut and dried. Knowing that the state code is actually saying this should be investigated. Like, we know it could go either way, but it's one of those things, it's up to your discretion, but know that most of the time you are required, or at least, if not 100% by law, it's certainly by the code of ethics, to investigate a case and say, okay, 100% I think this is what happened. But you had to literally ignore evidence. You had to step over practical things that made no sense to come to this conclusion. And buddy, you did it really quick. Really, really quick. Yeah, just boom. That's what it was. Self-unaliving. I mean, was there even a detective out there? And if there was, what did he say? Or she? Did they overlook it too? That definitely somebody should have said, you know what, just to be on the safe side. We know that there was trouble. We know that, we've got, let's be on the safe side. Because nothing, even purchasing a weapon from the store, does not mean anything. As a matter of fact, Mica's family is saying that was a $500 weapon. If you are going to use it one time, why are you going to pay so much? You don't have to have a high dollar weapon. You could have saved some money. Like, I don't know. Why are you going to pay that much for wasn't it like 500? I don't even know. I know she had 500 in her purse. But why are you going to pay more money than you have to when you're just going to use it and then be done with it? Okay? It doesn't make sense. All right, let me go back to, hello, Nina Kelly. What's up? Let's see. Samantha, a culture that allows its girls and women to be mistreated is corrupt and will only grow worse. Yes, like the old saying of scratch a third, find a liar. I haven't heard that. Scratch a thief. Scratch a thief. Okay, scratch a thief. Find a liar. I'm like, what's a third? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that one either. Scratch a thief. Find a liar. Well, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. As in, years of abuse and mistreatment breeds bigger and bigger corruption. Absolutely. Yes, you're right, Buckeye. Who buys an energy drink and a sandwich to go self-unaliving? And who takes their person to the woods to do this? Exactly. 100%. All of it. All of the above. And that's what I had said about the energy drink a couple of weeks ago. It's like, they usually make you happy. You know, they kind of pep you up. You're feeling good. Even if you're depressed, you know, you're going to have a little rush of feeling, oh, life is not so bad. Yeah, you don't do that normally. All right. It was a very thorough investigation that lasted 2 hours. Yeah, see, here's the thing. That's the whole problem with this. You didn't do even what the state code recommended. So my question is, why not? Are you that lazy? Or is there another reason? Is there a reason? Was somebody telling you immediately, I knew she was going to do this. She said she was going to do this. Was somebody talking in your ear? Do you have friends? What is the reason? Because this is not really even protocol to, at least, at the very least, give it 24 hours. Look into everything that she did prior to that. Whatever. But you can't just make that determination. But yet they did. All right, so then follow my train of thought here. So then I started thinking, all right, we have the medical examiner not doing a thorough investigation as to whether this was really a self-unaliving or was it staged. So who is the medical examiner, right? Oh, no. Oh, my dog is throwing up. Why? Why she choose to do this? It's going to make me sick. All right. Let me go to another one. So, okay, let's look at the original report. Wait. All right. Let me make sure I get you in the right place. So let me look at this. All right. So it says her cause of death was released by the medical examiner. Let me get this out of here. The sound of the barf. Ugh. All right. It says, a South Carolina pastor's wife shot and unalived herself in Robeson County, North Carolina, according to a medical examiner. Dr. Richard Johnson is the Robeson County medical examiner. Okay, right. We're going to explore that. He told the area ABC affiliate that he was at the scene helping the on-call medical examiner on April 27th at Lumber River State Park. Okay, so there's an on-call medical examiner. So who is the medical examiner? That's when and where the body of 30-year-old Mica Miller was found. Blah, blah, blah. And this actually goes on to show, this is one of the earlier articles that show that she was, this is where it first started getting sus. I just wanted you to see that Richard Johnson. Okay. All right. All right, Richard. So what I did, and I actually did this forever ago, I got online and I started looking for, Richard Johnson. Let's see, what's his LinkedIn, what's his profile, and I get to, and I don't have this pulled up, but I get to a place where I cannot find a listing for the actual medical examiner for Robeson County. So, there's like links like check the CDC, for this, state, this county. So I go on the big website. I go on South Carolina's website looking for who is the medical examiner for Robeson County. It's not there. It's literally not there. And then it says, like, there's one thing that says, like, sometimes you have a number of them that cover different counties. But I could not find a list of people. And when I did find anything, I couldn't find his name listed as a medical examiner. And I'm like, holy crap. So what I did find is he works at a hospital. So let me change tabs here. And, hold on. Let me go where... Oh, well, I can't find it. What the heck? All right, let me just tell you what I did or didn't find. I cannot remember the name of the hospital now. I just had it pulled up in an article. And so I go to, it's the hospital there. And so it says that in there were like several news reports, different places, and they said that he works at this certain hospital. Now, I went to the website and I started looking because I've worked at hospitals, and I actually find doctors if I'm looking for a doctor's number in my local area. I go to the hospital website and it will give you, what area they practice medicine in. And you can usually look them up alphabetically or by practice. And, you can get their fax number, whatever. And that's how I used to do it when I was marketing. So I go to this hospital and I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, they said he was a pathologist. I even went and looked at the pathologists that were listed for this hospital. And Richard Johnson, there is no picture, there is no name, there is no anything for him. And I'm like, okay, I can't find the medical examiner. And everybody's saying this guy is a pathologist at this hospital, and it's got a gazillion doctors listed, even pathologists, but not Richard Johnson. So I'm like, are they hiding his name? Is there really a Richard Johnson? I mean, there seems to be, but why isn't he listed in any of the professional stuff? So let me pull this up. All right. So I was looking at so many different things. An ABC News report states that Dr. Richard Johnson is the Robeson County medical examiner. Of course, he says he was helping the on-call medical examiner, so we don't know. And he was at the scene where Mica Millers' body was found, and it says, however, this claim is not corroborated by other sources. And I looked at so many articles, so I followed up on every little footnote, read this and that, and I can't find squat. All right, so I did, and I know Reddit is a lot of times unreliable. I do know that, but it's not always, okay? And what was weird is one of these people that posted a lot on Dr. Johnson earlier on, their post has been like wiped out. So I'm like, And what they said, actually, the original post, I could see the original post. I just could not see the responses. But the original post didn't seem to have anything inaccurate in it, so why did it get taken down? Did they take it down, or what? But anyway, it says that he's a pathologist and an account manager, not a medical examiner. Well, okay, the difference here would be, now, a pathologist, I'm not saying that he doesn't know. Hold on, I'll catch up with y'all in just a second. A pathologist certainly is very educated to know the processes if you're doing an autopsy, you want a pathologist, all right? You want somebody who can figure out. But in this case, the problem in question wasn't how she passed away. Like, it was obvious how she passed away. You didn't really need a pathologist for that. What you needed was a medical examiner to say, okay, we need to investigate further because there's some sketch stuff here, or let's just do what the state code suggests we do. Investigate, make 100% sure before we make this ruling that it wasn't staged or it wasn't a homicide, right? That's what the state code says. So having a pathologist and not a medical examiner, it's not optimal, okay? All right, but it says one user could not find him listed on the North Carolina State Board of Medicine website except as a public health educator in a different county. I'm going to tell you, I've had a hard time trying to track this guy down. Have no idea what he looks like. Have no idea if that's even, like, at this point, I'm just telling you, I question if that's even his name, because I can't find anything anywhere that really pins him down. All right. Now, his LinkedIn profile lists him as a pathologist. There's the hospital, so y'all. Southeastern Regional Medical Center. And they have a beautiful website. You can go on there. Like, look, I spent probably 40 minutes perusing that website like a month ago and looking at everybody. Again, trying to see if they maybe spelt his name wrong. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was close. Let me look through all the doctors. Let me look alphabetically. Let me look by pathologist. He's not there. And that's the thing. Was he there prior to this? I mean, why would you be a doctor, a pathologist, and your colleagues are listed on the website, but you're not? Like, why? Why aren't you listed? They don't like you? They think you're ugly? Like, what's the deal here? You know? You gotta wonder. Or is that like a pseudonym? Or did they throw that name? Did they pull that one out of their armpit and say, okay, we're gonna say it's Richard Johnson, because that's like a very generic name. That way they don't know who is actually there. Like, why is this man so hard to find? All right, and I encourage you, go to the website and look and see if you can find him, because I couldn't. So I don't know, and like I said, this was weeks ago. Couldn't find him. I don't know if he's reappeared, whatever. All right, it says, however, WebMD and other doctor listing sites provide limited information about his role and credentials. I know. This is like, who was hard to find, it's crazy. It's like, when you're a professional, because everything that I have read about him says that he's been practicing somewhere between 31 and 32 years. So if you have a practice that long, you've been a doctor that long, you are going to have a lot of affiliations. And I don't know if he was always a pathologist, because a lot of people, they start out one place. They may start out as a general practitioner or, a specialist of some kind. And they're like, you know what? I'm sick of seeing patients, sick of dealing with people. I'm going to get, I'm going to go back, get some more education, and I'm going to be a pathologist. That's why, like, look, I don't have to see people. I don't have to worry. I don't have to deal with anything. I'm just here to do a job. And I mean, I get it. Pathology was probably not that bad of a job, but still, as a doctor, you would be listed in a lot of things throughout your career. Why are you so hard to find? Why is there no info if you've been a doctor that long? You see how sketch this is? I'm like, okay. Let's see. Let me back up and catch up with y'all. Uh, okay, can I please leave an end screen or some other means for your, uh, yeah, I can, but I didn't cover it that closely. But now, I think, that's probably something that we do need to look into. Um, sorry, my dog puked. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Jeez. Yeah, I have to get that in a minute. I hate puke. I know. I'm a nurse. I should be able to, I should be able to handle it. Like, most things don't bother me, but I don't like puke. Like, I just can't. We all have our things, and I can't. Anything that comes from this area, nose and mouth. Ugh. Oh. All right. Let's see. Okay, end screen. What else is going on? I'm gonna have to have no fly list if I keep exposing corruption. Yeah. Um. Yeah, Buckeye. These guys must have been in the same class as the Nashville Med Examiner. Oh God. Get me started on that. That is a bunch of ridiculousness too. All right, so there's not much regulation on medical examiners. That's true. I was looking at what was required by the state. Again, I was reading all the state codes this afternoon. I started just, to put them up there, and I'm like, they're really quite dull, okay? And I'm like, nah, nobody really wants to see this. But yeah, absolutely. In rural areas, it is often whatever doctor they can talk into doing it. Yeah, but then also with that, you still have law enforcement there who they know, and I understand if you have to have a doctor there, but the coroner, the med examiner, whatever, you also have law enforcement that know, or they're supposed to know. And if you don't know, you need to find a new line of work. Why would you just look at a case and absolutely with no thought, oh, yeah, she did it. She did it. Uh, he could be, Samantha. Richard Johnson could be an on-call medical examiner. And most likely he is. The problem is, I can't find him. Like, really, nothing on him. Um, I did try looking at alternate names. I looked, but I was looking mostly on, because of a name like Richard Johnson, like, it's so common. Like, if you're just looking in the state of North Carolina, like, you come up with a lot of stuff of people, and I don't even know his age. I don't know anything about him. I don't know which one he is. So you think I'm going to start at the hospital where he works and where it said that he's worked for years and years. So why aren't you on the hospital website? This is like, it's not like you're a temp pathologist and you're going to be gone in 6 weeks. Like, you're there. Let's see. Oh, that's a good idea, Samantha. Try calling a funeral director there locally. He would be able to tell you how to find that man if he is indeed a medical examiner. Huh. Yeah. That's a good idea. Freckle Joy, how you doing? It's good. I get puked on all the time. I don't know why. Freckle Joy. I'm sorry, though. I'm really sorry. All right. Yeah, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, we do not have, in my opinion, allegedly, we don't have a medical examiner in the whole case that makes sense from the get-go. So I'll just tell you, I tried looking for connections between Richard Johnson and either Wayne Miller, J.P. Miller. I tried looking through connections to some people in Myrtle Beach. I couldn't find any. in the limited time that I gave it. I feel sure that there are probably connections between some of these. I know the officers have to know each other. And like I said before, if JP has the officers in Myrtle Beach in his back pocket, which we know he does, we covered that a couple of episodes ago, the chances of them knowing people in Robeson County, very, very good. It's only an hour away. Like, dang. And Tom Winslow, he's got property there. He knows people. Come on. And here's a question, and I haven't seen many people talk about this for a hot minute now. We talked about it in the beginning, but what do y'all think? Because I know that Kyler had asked people to please put, if you were there in South Carolina, in Charleston, if you were at that sports event and you have pictures that may have JP Miller in them, you have any kind of pictures that show he is there, then please let us know, because I'm still wondering about this whole, was he there? Did he have time to get back? He probably did have time to get back, even if he did show up in Charleston. But I haven't seen any pictures on the internet anywhere that show him there. So all we have that I'm aware of is a picture on the highway of his truck. We don't know who's driving that truck. Got no idea. So yeah. Have y'all heard anything? Because I certainly, and I've scoured the internet for it too. Funeral directors, cut through a lot of red tape. Okay. All right. If anybody could put you on the right track for medical, yeah. They will also know who would sign what papers and when. Well, clearly, if we go by JP, by the next morning, he said she had unalived herself. And I guess maybe that was the ruling then, I assume. Because we don't have anything that says anything any different, except that they're like, oh, well, yeah, she went to here, she went there, and then she went to the state park. Still no real motive. Yeah, good point, Buckeye. Doctors and lawyers probably frequent the same golf courses and country clubs in places like that. Might even be in the same lodge. Yeah, lodge like, I've always thought, when you talk about lodges, I'm always going to go for law enforcement. I'm always going to go for Freemasons. Because, even doctors, lawyers, police, look, they're all a part of that club. So it could, they could very well know each other. Samantha. Often funeral directors work almost hand in hand with a coroner, as we call them here in Indiana. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked when I found out, I guess it depends on the state, but really, the coroner could literally be anybody. Like, you don't have to have, at least in this state, you don't have to have any credentials. You just have to be voted in. I'm thinking, I want to run for coroner. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to go look at somebody. I'm like, that would be a job. All right, so I have a couple questions. Do you, first of all, when it comes to, I assume, I try not to watch the TikToks, and I'm going to do, I think, a whole other thing on JP and some narcissism and, the very dark road that can take. I'll probably do that tomorrow, because there's a lot of concerning things in that and where that can lead. I'm not going to give too much away, but as I started studying that, I'm like, well, holy Moses. Uh, I don't know if you've been watching his TikToks, the TikTok king right now. Like, yeah. Yeah, keep talking. That, I know. I try not to watch him. I try not to give the views, so I'll, like, just see what somebody else said about it. But, or if they have it on their video, I'll watch their video. But I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I think he's going to, he can't help himself. That's the thing. JP cannot help himself. He has got to be the center of attention. Yeah, I remember Dr. Quincy. Yeah, that was a good show, wasn't it? All right. So, what do y'all think about? Let me just. I don't know how I can put this easily. Yes or no? Do you believe? How do y'all feel about this? Do y'all believe the fisherman's story? Okay. Do you think it's, yes, 100% true? Just, good guy in the wrong place, wrong time. Sketch. Could be involved. We don't know. But everything about that sketch. What are y'all thinking about that? Yeah, please put it in the comments. You almost feel like you might get demon possessed if you watch JP. Yes. Yes. Actually, I feel like when I watch JP, I don't watch JP a whole lot, but I'm like, I wouldn't really say it's nausea. It's just, it's an internal, what the crap? Like, who would buy, it's kind of like a mind-bending thing for me. Like, who would believe this load of nonsense? Like, seriously? Cannot believe you're actually on TikTok doing this mess. Okay, Flat Earth. Johnny Jacobs has changed his story many times. Yeah, see, that's one of the things, too. That is one of the things, because when you tell the truth, and I mean, this is down in every law enforcement guide that you will ever read. When somebody tells the truth, their story doesn't change because the truth is the truth. Now, if somebody asks you a question that you really, didn't think about, let's say you have one timeline for events and then somebody says, well, do you remember seeing a guy in a red shirt that was there? Well, that might be new information because somebody said, oh, no, I didn't notice that one. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the typical events, as it goes on the timeline, it's not going to change. Not going to change. And if you do give more information, it all ties back into the original train of thought. But when you lie, you have to just start making up stuff because it didn't happen that way. So you have to get another lie, and your story changes, and that's how you get busted. Yeah, I see. That was me too. I wanted to believe him, and I'm not saying that he is involved in an unaliving 100%. I don't know. But, like you, I believe at minimum he was trying to steal her purse. Yes, I do too. Because there's no way. You don't grab a bag and leave the property and come back in another car. Like, look. You just don't. He wouldn't have come back with that. He would not have come back with that purse. If Mica had not been in that situation. If they didn't have, this 911 call, and then you have, a body. You kind of have to give it back at that point. But, so was that just the thing? And then, but I don't know, being all the way down there in that slough. Yeah, I know sometimes fish do stay in a slough like that, and it depends on how deep that slough was. Because if it's, usually when you get into backwaters like that and you get down into that slough, it's not very deep. At least around here, it's not. It usually doesn't go that deep because, it starts now maybe out some, but if you're out, then you might not have seen her. How would you see the purse? How would you see the purse and not see her? There's just too much. There is too much there that I feel like if you're not involved, I feel like there's some more information. I mean, did you notice a body and then see a purse and say, oh, well, she ain't going to be needing that? I mean, is that what happened? And then you don't want to say that because it makes you look bad? Or were you there because they needed a witness? I mean, if I was going to commit a crime like that and I had the ability to have a witness who says from the get-go, all right, because it all lines up, sort of, unless you're really I won't even say a good cop, but if you're a good thinker, and you should be a good thinker if you're in law enforcement, if you're a good thinker, you would say, well, that was really convenient. There's somebody here, all the way back here. They hear you have a witness. I hear crying. Then I hear a gunshot. But you had to hear, and I don't even care if you weren't in the slough earlier. A gunshot, it goes for a long, long distance. Like you hear a gunshot, it could be a mile away or more, depending on the acoustics. If there were other shots, and we know there were other shots because of the casings, what about those? Why did you say, oh, I heard crying and then I heard a shot and thought, oh no, I hope that's not what I think it is? I wouldn't even necessarily think that. If I heard crying and then I heard a gunshot, I wouldn't necessarily think somebody was unaliving themselves. I might think that, I don't know, something else was happening, that they were putting a dog or an animal down, maybe something in a trap. I mean, look, it ain't the way. If you're not from the country, if you're not real rural, you can't appreciate this. And I'm not saying I do this, I don't do this, but it's very, very common when you have an animal that's injured beyond help. In the country people, a bullet. You put it out of its misery. And so, I mean, I would probably think it was an injured animal, whether it was a deer or a raccoon or whatever. I wouldn't necessarily think somebody was out there just because they're crying. So, I don't know. It really makes, there's a lot of, I don't know. Yeah. 30 minutes later, Samantha says, those that change their stories a lot tend to inadvertently tell other things that gives the real things away. Yes, they do. His boat would not go where he said he was. Yeah, see, I wondered that when I was looking at, I was looking at the area. Because like I said, slough, when you get down into the slough, it's not very deep. Jay, everything in this case stinks. Yes, to high heaven. To high heaven it does. All right. Let's see. I feel like the purse guy saw more than just a purse. I think he saw what led up to the body being a body. And then the people who needed a story had a little talk with him. And then the story was told. Yeah, the fictional story. That it could be quite possible. Quite possible. Well, we see, okay, let's just say he's innocent, all right, but he did see the purse. And he wanted to take the money. We already know the culture of Robeson County. There's a lot of people. Apparently, you can buy votes for $7 or a seafood dinner. $15. That's a cheap vote. Apparently, people can be swayed. I mean, you have somebody, what if somebody did, offer a lot of money to say, this is the story. Buckeye might have been a lookout, took a planted purse, as his payment. Yeah, there, I see. I didn't think about that. You're right. It could have been. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be a witness here. We're going to need you, and we're going to leave this purse with money. Was it okay? Because, and I haven't read a whole lot about this. Y'all, please tell me. I heard something about that there was a lock on her purse, right? Why would you need a lock on your purse? But if there was a lock on your purse, because it was going to be used as a payment, you wouldn't want anybody, could be, or maybe she just didn't want, JP to be able to get a hold of it. I don't know. I've thought about putting a lock on my purse because I had children. Let's see. What about the other people in the other boat? He said a man, a woman, and a child. Where are they? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, there was so much about that. There was so much about those other people. And he said he didn't know their name. But if you hear a gunshot and you think something's going on and somebody else is like, yeah, I heard it too, you would think you might have to say something. I would say, hey, I would introduce myself and say, hey, I'm Silky, and get their names just so you know, in case you have to talk to the police. I mean, it's like nobody has any brains in this situation. Especially with corrupt police, they would have said something like option A, you go away for stealing from a passed away woman. Option B, you tell this story about your part and walk away. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very, very possible. Well, we know corruption is, it's kind of like the thing to do in Robeson County. Hello, J.D. Delara. Am I saying that right? Yes, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Mica, and justice for Mica. So yeah, I want to know what you think. And if anybody finds anything about this, elusive Richard Johnson, I'd love to know. Because at this point, I think he's, a figment of somebody's imagination. There's just not enough. I mean, if you think about working in a bigger hospital and the events over the years, okay, think about, like, you're tagged in photos, you're tagged in articles, you're tagged in hospital business. When you research and you go through the stuff of the hospital, you find zero presence. And that is beyond weird to me. So that's why I'm asking, is that actually his name? Did they give him like a pseudo alias? What are those things? What did I say earlier? Pseudo. You know what I'm saying? When you like people write books under other names, like what is that called? Having a brain cramp. Anyway, I have to wonder if that's what it is, but yeah, we'll look into corruption in Myrtle Beach. But yeah, I mean, like I talked about, from the time of before Operation Tarnished Badge up to just last, a couple of weeks ago. There we are. More corruption, buying votes. Now people are like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, pseudonym. Did I say that right earlier when I said pseudonym? I think that's what I said. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't even know what I'm talking about. The heat has got me already. All right. I hope y'all have, if you think of anything else or you have any links you want to share with me, please. Please. Oh, and by the way, would y'all please do me a favor and hit the like button, okay? If you're not subscribed and you want to, subscribe. If you don't want to, that's okay. I enjoy having you here, even if you just pop in and out. Also, I don't know. I guess that's about it. Let's stop all this nonsense. Sorry. Let me get this off. I don't know how to get this off here. I don't know. Okay. Oh, Flat Earth. My email is silky and southern at gmail. And if anybody else has something, you can go onto my YouTube, like my page on YouTube, like where it lists everything. Go to the home button and go where it says about, because it's got a whole list of things. It's got my email on there. So yeah, I will try to. I wonder if they'll talk to me, honestly. Uh, I mean, I'm going to try, Samantha. It just makes me wonder if they will talk to me because of all of the public, stuff going on, especially if they're in that loop. But anyway, all right, I am going to go and try to cool down. We'll be talking again tomorrow on some of this and some really scary things that I found out about narcissism and JP, and even some stuff about Rex Human's daughter. Like sometimes they're all kind of in the same boat. It's really scary. All right, I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and whatever you do, just stay silky. Okay. I'll talk to you later if I can talk. Bye-bye. I'm going to try.